Right, give me your names there first of all.
Ethan.
Ethan.
Milo.
Milo, M-I-L-O or M-Y-L-O?
M-I-L-O.
Not that it matters, but anyway. Questions. Do you both want to do it?
Yeah.
Sure.
Right, okay. Shouldn't take too long. So 3 simple questions. First question is, do you love animals, and if so, why? I'll start with you.
Yeah, just got a couple dogs, so yeah. Doesn't really go deeper than that, but
Yeah, I get it. I have a big lad at home as well, and I love him dearly. So what about you?
I'd probably say the same. I've got a couple of dogs at home, so I don't know what else to say.
Okay, cool. Second question is about animal abuse. What do you think of people who abuse animals and animal abuse in general?
yeah, it's awful. Obviously, I've never seen it firsthand, but you hear about it and online and stuff, but it is awful.
Okay. I have, but we'll get to that in a wee second. What about you?
I'd say our answers are going to be the same, but yeah, like probably mentally ill. Like there's something wrong with you if you're doing that type of stuff. So
Okay, yeah, I see animals as very innocent, and they deserve our protection, and we take advantage of them in many different ways. So third question is still an easy question. It's trickier to answer, I'll warn you now, but there's no judgment with it. And you'll find out why when I ask you. Do you fund or support any industries that abuse animals? And by that I mean meat, dairy, eggs, leather, circuses, zoos, and animal testing. And genuinely no judgment, because I supported it and funded it for a long time myself. What do you think of that?
I would say, yeah, definitely. Obviously, what I eat and driving cars with leather and clothes, and obviously you don't really see it firsthand, but
Of course. I appreciate your honesty, man, by the way. What about you?
yeah, definitely. Man, I eat meat,
Okay.
like chicken and stuff all the time. So
Yeah.
definitely.
So my question then following from that would be, do you see hypocrisy, and I'm not calling you hypocrites because again I paid for it myself, and in one hand saying I'm against animal abuse, but at the same time paying for people to do things to animals that you would never do yourself. So that's why I'm here today, to give you maybe, should you be here for 2 minutes or 5 minutes or 10 minutes, to give you a new perspective on what genuinely happens to animals. And the main point would be it's completely unnecessary when you can just wear vegan alternatives for everything, clothes-wise. I mean, vegan leather, most of the footballs and football boots and sports gear now is made from alternative leather.
Yeah.
And you can get vegan options for all the food. So it's that. Let me put it this way. If somebody was kicking a wee doggy over there now, what would you do?
we go over and stop it, obviously.
You put yourself in harm's way. You would do the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what was a baby pig or a baby lamb? What would you do?
I suppose if he was here, like looking at it,
Yeah.
probably would do the same thing. But
Of course.
yeah,
And you would do the same?
Yeah.
That's because you have good hearts and you don't want an animal to be harmed, and you recognise the innocence in them. So the point is, when you buy the products, you're paying people, literally paying people to do things to animals that you would never do yourself. And if it's not, so you're taught from you're young, it's needed, normal and necessary.
yeah.
If there's no necessity and it's not needed, well then what would be the justification for continuing to do it?
I suppose it's so mainstream. So it happens. You don't really look too deep into it.
Yeah.
I did go vegan for a couple of months last year.
Okay.
But I mean,
What was the drive behind that, if you don't mind me asking?
It was over lockdown. I was living with my mate, and we just thought we'd give ourselves a bit of a challenge.
Okay.
Yeah, and I thought it was easy,
Yeah.
But just faded out and stopped doing it.
Okay. What about you? Just justification wise, what would you say there is a justification for continuing to do it?
People are justifying it. I think people just don't like notice. They don't like buy something and I'm not like, oh god, it's like made of leather. You don't realise.
Of course. So I was brought up the same as you. So I was taught by my parents to love some animals. Cats, dogs, horses, dolphins. Somebody shoots a lion, you get upset. Bullfighting's bad, fox hunting's bad. But the animals that we typically eat and wear, you're taught not to think about them at all. You're taught that it's necessary to eat chicken for protein and milk for calcium. None of those things are true. I mean, I'm 55 years old. I haven't eaten an animal product since I was 19, so you can survive and thrive on a plant-based diet. I would argue that it's healthier
easier
for
now.
you. Yeah. What's that?
It's a lot easier now than it was probably 20, 30 years
20, 30 years ago, it was really hard. All you got was a bag of soy mince and a health food shop, and it was fucking this dried stuff like gravel, man. It was horrible. But now there's vegan alternatives for everything, like ice cream, burritos,
Burgers.
There's no difference.
pizzas, burgers. If you've tried it,
Yeah, I went to an ice cream shop and we got vegan ice cream in there. It was actually, the strawberry one was actually, vegan strawberry was better than the actual strawberry, and more people got the vegan
so
one.
vegan ice cream, I would challenge anybody to tell the difference. It's literally identical, if not better. Some of the products are better, some of them are not as good. The question is, even if the product didn't taste as good, and there was a 5 or a 10% taste difference. What do you value more? A 5 or a 10% taste difference, maybe not just as good or slightly different, or an animal suffering terribly and losing their life for the other one? What's more valuable to you when you stop to think about it?
Yeah, obviously you go for the other option. You know, the option that's not
ethical one.
Yeah,
You
more
do the
ethical
same?
one,
I mean, you would, but a lot of people, a lot of people wouldn't. Not because they don't like animals or anything, but vegan food is very expensive for some people. But if you can do
That's
it,
actually a
you
myth.
should.
I don't have a lot of money. Genuinely, I don't have a lot of money. You can live cheaply on a vegan diet. I know people who are living on 20 or 30 quid a week who are vegan.
Yeah.
You don't have to buy the dairy vegan alternatives in the same way that if you eat an omnivorous diet, you don't have to buy steak in a restaurant, or you don't have to buy veal or all these really expensive things. You can just bulk out your food with sweet potatoes and lentils and stuff like that. I mean, Linda McCartney sausages are $1.50 for 6, much as a pack of ordinary sausages, the same price.
Yeah.
Plant-based milk's the same price. Ice cream's the same price.
Yeah.
Some of the burgers are like a couple of quid for 4. You know, you can eat expensive vegan food, but you can also eat expensively. So that's what I'm asking people to think about. If you genuinely love animals, just to stop and think that the programming, I mean, you're surrounded by all this advertising from when you're young and what your parents teach you and what you're taught at school about protein. And like if I said to you, where do you get your calcium from? Where do you get your calcium from?
Milk.
Yeah. Cows are not fonts of calcium. Calcium's a mineral from the ground, if you think about it.
Yeah.
So they have it because they eat grass and they get it from the ground, but we can just eat coloured greens and get any amount of calcium. We don't have to filter it through a cow. And if you 2 minutes to tell, do you know how the dairy industry works? I'm going to tell you one industry how it works that you probably won't know, just to make you think, and then I know you're probably rushing along. Do you know how the dairy industry actually works? Do you know anything about it other than cows give us milk?
I wouldn't really know. No, I wouldn't know the ins and outs. Obviously,
No idea.
Can I take 2 minutes and tell you? Just to shock you, because people see it as this benevolent industry that we just take milk from them and they're completely
well, I've
fine.
seen Cowspiracy actually, so it sort of.
Okay, so you know some stuff.
Yeah,
Right.
there's a lot of harm.
So cows are mammals. So all the cows in the fields that you see are all female, because only females produce milk. Where's all? So they're the black and white cows that typically see here, the Frisians.
Yeah.
Where's all the boys?
Put another pan down.
Dead. Some of them are killed at birth. So in UK last year, about 120,000 killed on the day they're born by farmers, setting them on the ground, shoot them in the head, or hit them over the head with a spade or a shovel. Some are sent across to Belgium and the Netherlands, or else over to North Africa, and they're put into veal pens. You know what veal is? So they're kept in a dark pen, chained up for about 16 weeks so they can't move. No muscle development, no red blood cells. Keeps the meat really tender, and at 18 weeks old they're brought out of the pen and somebody stabs them in the throat and they're sold in fancy restaurants as veal. Or they go to market between 10 days and 6 weeks old. Their meat from a dairy calf is poor, it's not good meat. So they're sold at market, Ballymena market on a Friday morning, drop calves, baby boy calves. They're sold, we totes that how man, and they go straight across the road into the slaughterhouse. Somebody cuts their throat and they're turning into cheap meat products like steak and kidney pie or soups and stuff like that. So that's incredibly cruel.
Yeah.
The females are exploited for their whole life, so they're made pregnant, because the only time a female produces milk is when your mum produced milk when she had you. So they're not. Cows produce milk because they're mums, not because they're cows.
Yeah.
So they're made pregnant. They're pregnant 9 months. At the end of 9 months, have their calves taken away from them. Really distressing for them. They cry out for days and days for their calves and never see them again. So that'll happen to her. Made pregnant, calves taken away. Made pregnant 4 or 5 times until she's about 5 or 6 years old. Guess where she goes?
Dead.
Off the slaughterhouse. So that's cruel.
Yeah.
You agree that whole industry stinks? Like,
Oh, yeah,
so
definitely.
Horrible.
we never think about that.
Yeah.
So you can go into a supermarket, and I'm sure you must have seen the plant-based milks. You have to have had.
Oh yeah, I've tried them. Yeah.
And what do you think of them?
They're alright, yeah.
Yeah.
Soy milk and that was fine.
Soy milk's probably my least favourite, but you
I
get
like almond milk
Almond
actually.
milk. I like almond milk. Yeah.
and oat milk and coffee is great. You can get it in. You can get 4 or 5 different options in Nero and Starbucks now.
Yeah.
Plant-based everything. So when you walk into a supermarket or walk into Nero or Starbucks and you have a choice of dairy milk, now you know what the dairy industry entails. Or you can simply buy it with oat milk instead, or buy a carton of oat milk or soy milk or hazelnut milk or whatever. I'll ask you a really direct question. What's the right choice to make there?
Oh yeah, obviously the alternative, the almond milk, soy milk, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, as always. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's basically about it. All these industries think. Egg industry is the same. All the baby boys are killed at birth, dropped straight into a macerating machine, ground up alive because they don't produce eggs. One more tell you before you go. Pigs in this country, we kill about 21,000 a week. Do you know how we kill, how we dispose of them?
Not too sure, no.
No idea. No.
So would you be surprised if I told you we throw them in the gas chambers?
Yeah, very surprising I didn't know that.
Yeah. Then no way.
Absolutely brutal. I've been and done vigils at slaughterhouses, and we get to spend some time with animals. So it's a big gondola with cages on them about the size of the monument, and they put 3 or 4 in a cage and they drop them down into a gas chamber. CO2, carbon dioxide, real cheap aversive gas. It's like suffocating. Man, you should hear the screams of those animals. It is fucking terrible.
Yeah, that's
Like,
awful.
Yeah.
I'm talking about it all the time, and every time I talk about it, I get upset. The last day I was there, I was crying my eyes out, man. It's freaking terrible, and it was your dogs in a gas chamber.
It is awful,
Yeah.
I know. It is awful, yeah.
So
It makes you think to be a bit more ethical, animal friendly.
yeah, animal friendly is. I know people laugh at the word vegan, man.
Yeah, no.
I'm vegan and proud to be vegan and I am not judging you because for a long time in my life I paid for it too. I wasn't
Yeah, I
aware.
suppose a lot of people
I maybe
do.
told you some things today you've never heard before, and
Yeah.
you're taught not to even think about it. So yeah, I go to my bed at night and think I don't do it. Okay, I drive a car and I maybe killing bugs or maybe stepping a worm in the grass, but I do no intentional harm to animals at all. And I would never hurt a wee pig. I would never hurt a hen or a chicken myself, neither would you, I'm 100% sure. I'd never hurt a wee baby lamb. Like baby lambs, we kill them at 16 weeks old, man. Stood and watched it, it's horrendous.
Yeah.
Upside down, cut their throat. They're
It's awful.
really bad. So yeah, what do you think of all that?
Yeah, it's a lot to take in, but I don't have to take it into consideration because I have to think about it a lot more.
I appreciate you, man. I don't expect anybody to go, oh yeah, I'm just going to go vegan on the spot, but it's worth. It's definitely. I think it's worth thinking about. Would you agree?
Yeah, definitely worth thinking about.
Make a few changes.
Definitely.
I'm going to give you a card each. Would you take a card? Yeah, I give you one.
go
Yeah.
ahead.
I appreciate you spending the time and stuff.
No
with me,
worries.
man.
No worries.
It's definitely a lot to think in, but these industries absolutely stink, man. When you dig beneath the cover and realise what's actually going on in these industries, you would not be cool with it. And if you've seen Seaspiracy, it's on. There's a card.
I've seen
Thank
Seaspiracy
you.
as well, that was good.
Cowspiracy's on there too. I'm going to ask you to watch one. I tell everybody to watch. See the top one here?
Yeah.
Best speech you'll ever hear. Oh, free to watch on YouTube. It's a Jewish guy called Gary Orofsky. It's about 40 minutes long. I'm not into big speeches and stuff, but genuinely I'm not. That guy's speech is the most powerful thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, I'll definitely give it a watch.
And genuinely, 5 minutes in, I was like, shit, I have to go vegan. I can't argue with anything that guy says, and it is literally millions and millions of views. Literally the best thing I've
Yeah.
ever heard in my life.
Alright,
Thank you
okay.
very
I
much.
appreciate you, lads. What's your name again?
Ethan.
Ethan and Milo.
Milo, yeah.
Appreciate you, man.
See you later.
Have a good day, lads.